So, I want to come at you today with some info about fuel. Right now, fuel is at like an all-time high. That may not be true. I'm just saying that. It's high though. It's high. I don't know if it's all-time high, but it's high. It's higher than I'd like to be spending on fuel. And so, if you're an owner-operator, or if you're for some reason a very caring company driver, you should watch this video and find out how to step up your MPG game. Now, I'm not the only resource on this out there. There are much better resources. There's guys getting 13 miles to the gallon, 12 miles to the gallon. Look up Joe Morrill, Clark Reed, what's the Freightliner? Run Smart. Oh man, Henry Albert. Very knowledgeable folks with very aerodynamic and very efficient trucks. But here I am, little old me, with a 2015 truck that I have wheel cups, and yet I have a big bull, not bull guard, a deer guard on the front. So whatever aerodynamics the wheel covers are saving me, I'm probably losing on the deer guard. But anywho, I digress. I've got some tips though, because I've been getting pretty regularly around that 8 miles to the gallon mark, which you may be thinking, oh well, he's probably running 4,000 pound loads all, but I'm usually right around that 60K, which I know, not 70, not 80, not 78. I know, you probably run heavier and this will never work for you, but it will. The point of this is to get you from where you're at to somewhere better. So, I'm gonna go over some free tips while I'm driving here, because I got all the time in the world. I've been driving for maybe an hour now, 6 a.m. Yeah, my ABS light's on. It's for a wheel speed sensor. I need to readjust it, but anywho. So, I'm gonna go over some free things. Firstly, what I wanna go over is idling. I honestly think idling is one of the biggest wasters of fuel, because it really eats at your numbers. If you've got one of these fuel, gauges that you can click on fuel data and it shows you how much you have and all these different numbers, and you can reset your average. And if you're a guy that idles and you want to keep idling, but maybe this video might change your mind, run on the road, reset it while you're on the road, running down the road, blah blah blah. You're probably gonna get 5, 6, 7 maybe, and you're gonna come to a stop and you're gonna set the brakes and you're gonna go in to check in, and then you're gonna sit there checking in, and then they're gonna have to find some more paperwork, and you come back out and it will have dropped significantly. I think they said one time, like Joe Morrill and others were talking about, the fuel mileage experts, they were talking about I get it, thanks. They say like for every hour you idle, it's 1 mile per gallon less, or maybe 1/10, something like that. Anyway, it's huge. So you're gonna come back out and your mile per gallon is gonna have dropped significantly, because that engine's still running, you're not making any miles up, and you're just putting hours on your engine. So stop doing that, and you're gonna automatically see a huge increase, which I know some people are gonna be like, well, what are they doing with the hardware? Okay, let your truck cool off maybe a little bit, like let some oil circulate through and cool it down. Especially only do this if your coolant temp is back down to operating. If you're up there at 210, don't shut your truck off. So I'm not telling you to shut it off like no matter what, but I'm saying you get back, set the brakes, or you get to wherever you're going, set the brakes, pull out your paperwork, blow out your truck real quick, blow your, I don't know, I like doing that, but blow it out, organize a little bit, and then shut her off. Like give it a minute, 2 minutes, that's good enough. People are like, I want to cool down the oil. If you watch your oil temp, it's not cooling down anymore. If you come down to whatever, like on a hot day, it's gonna, for me in a Volvo, it's gonna be hanging around the 230, 240, like 10 degrees is not gonna make or break all of the engine components you've got in that truck. Anywho, I rest my case. So turn it off in the morning on a cold day. Get it up to whatever temp you want, but just watch it. Don't warm it up for 20 minutes. Don't warm it up for half an hour unless it's like 2 degrees out. But even still, that's excessive. Once it gets to, for me, 100 degrees on a warmer day when I know all the rest of the stuff's gonna be warm, or maybe 110, 120 on a cooler day. When it gets to being like really cold, well, first of all, I don't want to drive when it's really cold because it's just hard on everything, and I feel like the ice that may be imminent is not worth the risk of me driving a truck. And given I'm an owner operator, I can make my schedule. I don't want to drive, I don't drive. Bada bing, bada bang. Anyway, some of you are company and you don't really have that choice, but yeah, don't idle your truck. Don't idle it overnight, especially nowadays. The weather is so cool and it's so nice. Let me see what the temp is right now, which this guy, I don't know why this guy's going so slow. I think it's 55 through here, bro. Schneider, what can you say? What are you gonna do, Schneider? Anyway, 51 degrees outside, 52 now it says. 50 degrees is perfect. You get you a 20, 10, 0 degree sleeping bag. 50 degrees is awesome, especially if you keep your windows closed in the truck, if you're trying to keep it warm. Like, it's not gonna get to 50. Maybe if you're sitting there for 10 hours, it might, with the truck off. A lot of these trucks though have bunk heaters. And if you don't know if your truck has a bunk heater or not, you need to find out. They're pretty dang handy. They just sip on diesel, put out some heat. I always run mine on like the lowest setting, so it's kind of on like stop start almost, like for reefers. And that way it doesn't burn my batteries up overnight. But it'll get hot in here. It'll get hot. And when you do that, make sure you're pulling your dividers and whatnot. Keep it as small of an area as possible for it to heat up. But yeah, don't idle. It's number one. Number two, slow down. Dang it. Why do we all have to be left lane cowboys? Huh? Why do you have to do that? I mean, is that really how you get your fill? You come home, kiss your wife, and she asks you if you're a big boy today and you hung out in the left lane and made mama proud. Nobody cares. Like, really, no, seriously, nobody cares. And I'll tell you this, I like looking at a Peterbilt just as much as the next guy. Nobody cares. I mean, really. If this is a wake-up call for you to not buy a Peterbilt, or if you have one and you're thinking about changing, I mean, whatever. I love the look of a Peterbilt. Maybe one day I'll have one. So, you know, maybe these are these older guys who are about to get out and they just want to have fun and live their lifelong, you know, career-ending days, whatever. But you don't need to be driving fast. You don't need to be in the left lane, especially if you're an owner-operator. If you're an owner-operator, you should be out of that left lane. You should not be in that left lane. You're not making more money. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe like 1 week out of every 3 that you do this, you make more money by hauling ass. But I guarantee you, especially, if you're a reefer dude or anything like that, where you've got these hard appointments and you know you're just gonna get there and sit, don't go fast. Don't go fast. And think about it. Think about it right now. Why do I care if you go fast or not? Right? Why do I care? Well, actually, if everyone were to slow down and get better fuel mileage and save money, on top of you most likely making more money, everyone else is gonna make money too. Because the more fuel you have to buy, the higher the demand on fuel is. And if every truck in America went up by 10 miles or 0.10 miles per gallon, 0.1, fuel would drop. The price of fuel would drop because they would not be able to move as much of it, so they'd have to put it at a lower price, blah, blah, blah. It's easy, simple, supply and demand. That and tire prices would come down because you're not gonna burn through your tires. I don't know if you know this, but going fast burns your tires up. Anyway, so less demand on tires means there's less tires being bought, which means they run sales on tires to get people to buy tires. You know what I mean? Number 3 free thing is gonna be following distance. Like right now, I'm way too close to this guy. He keeps going slower and slower progressively, so maybe he's really heavy or something, and I don't really have room to get over right now. I will in a second though. So Just fell. So following distance is big, because the closer you are behind someone, the more often you're gonna have to be hitting the brakes and getting back on the fuel pedal. So you should be leaving 3, 5, 7 second gaps between people so that you can make up that time. You know, you hold at a steady speed. It's like the people during stop-go traffic that just put her in second gear and you cruise along, going slow, but all the other people are going up, stop, up, stop, up, stop, up, stop, up, stop, up, stop. Whereas you're just one speed. But of course, all the four-wheelers like darting in, which is kind of annoying, but part of the game. So, yeah. Tip number 4 is to run by boost. Do not set the cruise control. All right, right now, I've been trying to stay around 15 PSI, and I'm about to hit this hill, going up the hill. It's 6 in the morning, almost no one on the road. I ain't gonna be impeding nobody if I'm going under the speed limit. And it's a hill. Like, everybody knows trucks go slow up hills. Not to mention, this jokester in the hot shot is still in front of me going slow, so it's not like I'd be going a lot faster. I just hit the downshift, keep it in the green, even though it's an automated manual. But I'm trying to keep it roughly at that 15. And what does that mean? That means right now I'm going 52 miles an hour. 51. Oh my gosh, you're slowing down traffic so much. So much. There's, I think it's a Jeep coming up. One of them, no, maybe Subaru, maybe a, yep, nope. Okay, Jeep, Dodge, whatever. That guy's day just got so much worse because I was going 48 miles an hour up this 3% grade. Ah! Shut up. Seriously, dude. I'm talking to the guy in the back of the room that's always like, well, when you go slow, you slow down traffic. No, that's not always true. Sometimes, yes. And that's why sometimes I don't go slow. I put the pedal to the metal, you know, trying not to slow people down. It's all situational. It's all situational. You gotta read the room, you gotta read the road, you gotta read the circumstance, you gotta read the weather, you gotta read the temperatures, you gotta read the time of day. You know, right now, maybe people are sleepier and they could run into the back. I mean, yeah, what? Really? Okay, I mean, honestly though, how often does that happen? Is it really even a threat? And lastly, is that even my concern? I mean, if I'm going up a hill, what if I was fully loaded at 120 right now, 120,000 because I was oversized? There's no way I'd be going up that hill at 70. So, I mean, you're fine with them doing it because you're fully loaded. What? You don't know how loaded I am. I mean, you do know because I said I'm at like 55 gross right now, but anyway, you just never know. You never know if someone's truck's not as fast as yours. You don't know how they're geared. You don't know what kind of fuel issues they've been having, but yeah, we're gonna maybe try to get past this guy. But by the same token, I'm chilling at 15 PSI, coming up on him. 15 PSI. So that is number 4, running by PSI on your boost, not on cruise. Now, little caveat to that. If you have like a brand new truck, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, they have really, I don't know how you say it, predictive cruises. So the cruise will know this hill is coming. And it'll say, hey, I'm gonna downshift and go ahead and instead of obeying your cruise speed request, I'm gonna drop it by 3. And it saves some fuel. Yeah, that's fine. In some companies, they incentivize by whatever. So, I mean, if you're a company driver, you probably don't care about fuel anyway. But maybe you do because there's like a leaderboard or there's an award for the most fuel efficient driver. And if you're like me, you're always looking for ways to save fuel. So this is just what I know. Like I said before, there's experts out there that know more, but yeah. Number 5, free thing to save you some fuel. Put more air in your tires. If you're not checking your tires with a gauge, a nice, properly calibrated gauge, you're missing out on some money. You should be running at least sidewall pressure. I know a lot of people on the interwebs say 10 over. And that's what I do. I'm not saying you need to do that. You get a blowout or something and you want to say it's my fault. It's not my fault. I'm just saying run your sidewall pressure. For most of my tires it says 120 or 110 or something like that. Don't be running 80 or 90 in your drives. Like you're missing out on some money. I think Joel Morrill and Henry Albert, all them, they say you lose or you gain a tenth of a mile per gallon per 10 psi in your tire. So if you're rolling around at 75, 80 psi right now in your drives, or you say your whole rig, hopefully your steers are not at 75. Gosh dang. Anyway, you're running around at 80, and you go up to that 110, you're gonna gain 3/10 of a mile. If you go up to 120, 4/10 of a mile. Now, yeah, this may make rain or winter driving on some ice a little tougher. So maybe don't exceed sidewall pressure in the winter, but still make sure you're at it. You know, they design it that way for a reason. They're not saying, there's no note on there that says let some air out in the winter. I would just say during the summer put in 10 over or right at, and then whenever the winter comes, it's naturally going to suck some air out of your tires. It's just how it works. So yeah, I mean, just leave it as it is for the winter, but make sure it's topped up, and don't be running around with a dud tire. It's also a DOT violation, but it's free. It's a free way, but it is equipment related, so there's that. Number 6 on ways to save money. This was not free, but it kind of is, because you already have to spend money on it anyway. Run synthetic oil. I don't know off the top of my head how much it gains you, but aside from it also being better for your engine, it's more fuel efficient. The difference between conventional and synthetic is the way that the molecules are shaped, and they're more perfect in synthetic oil, whereas in conventional oil they're different shapes. And I run synthetic just because it's good for the engine, but also it could be said that it gets good fuel mileage too. Like I said before, I'm getting right around that 8 miles per gallon mark, so there's that. Tip number 7, do a good pre-trip. Make sure your equipment is doing good, nothing's leaking out, it's not crusty junk, everything's running good. I'm sorry I said that. It's gotta be a well-oiled machine. Make sure you've got oil in your engine. Make sure you've got proper coolant to cool it down. Make sure you've got oil in your front hubs. I know someone, relative of mine, had to spend $2,000 on a tow and $2,000 on repairs to get his front hub completely replaced because he wasn't checking his hub oil. And so he either ran out or whatever happened, and it just, he's lucky. He was fully loaded going down a mountain, and he he had this shaft or his hub kind of come loose, and his wheel was almost completely gone. It was still hanging on, but I'm surprised he got that thing turned on the side of the road. So yeah, you want to make sure everything is working good, because talking about fuel savings, you got to make sure everything is rolling right. Your bearings are tight enough, but not too tight. You got to make sure you're picking up a trailer with good tires, that your tires are in good shape, that you're not whatever. Whenever you've got time, get out of the sleeper while you're getting loaded or whatever, and check your tires for nails, things that are going to turn into a flat that have only just hit the rubber so far, because that's going to save you time. And yeah, it'll save you some fuel, not having to pull over on the side of the road, but it's all about saving money. Saving fuel is about saving money. Getting good MPG is about saving money. So save money in every way, not just whatever. And this is all free stuff. You should be doing a pre-trip. You should be checking to make sure your tires aren't full of nails and junk. On that, don't drive on the shoulder if you can help it. Don't drive on these very rarely driven on areas of different roads. If you're turning off somewhere, don't pull off from the side unless you have to. There's always going to be foreign debris, nails, tires, stuff that's dropped off of trucks. I've had washers, I've had I've had all kinds of stuff. All you have to do is go into any of those tire shops like Boss truck shop, they always have a jar of stuff they found inside of tires. I've seen spark plugs, I've seen wrenches. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that gets put in these tires from driving on bad parts of the road, or people drop stuff out of their trucks. So, tip number 7, final tip. Overall, more important than anything, just make sure your truck is in good shape. And if you give it time, it'll give you time back. You take care of it, it'll love you back. All right, hey guys, bonus tip number 8. Run Google Maps, not just your truck or GPS. The Google Maps will tell you stuff that the Garmin won't. Maybe other ones are better about this. This right here shows that there's a slowdown, right? This guy can blow by me all he wants. I'm running my 15 PSI. There's not a lot of traffic, otherwise I would be in the slow lane. I'm not one of those guys to just hog it. But I will say, when you run in this lane, it's impossible for people to F you over. When you run in that lane, the hill lane, and then you get at the top, all these big truckers that are going half a mile an hour faster than you want to cut you off, and you have to either slam on your brakes or ride the shoulder. Anyway, I rest my case. But looks like it's a little off right now, but you can see that well, for whatever reason, traffic over here is stopped. You've got these lines that tell you the color. If it's maroon, that means it's dead stopped. If it's red, that means it's very, very, very slow. So yeah, like over here, looks like for some reason there's dark lines. But coming into Nashville, you're always gonna have some red, orange, and blues, so it's no biggie. But anyway, on the off chance that there is actually this traffic that it's saying is here, I'm not gonna be hauling butt, you know? I'm gonna be looking far, far ahead, see if I can see, looks like I see brake lights. I'm off the pedal. There's a BMW driver doing what BMW drivers do. And, okay, and an S10 apparently. But yeah, I see that there's a slowdown happening. So I'm gonna start hitting the brakes. And I didn't blow all this fuel. Like say this Penske truck, maybe he's 10 cars ahead of me now. No big deal. But I don't know. You may think, well, how much fuel does it actually save? Not much. Really doesn't save that much. But over the course of the day, if you do this 3, 4, 5 times, it could save a lot. And you're really burning a lot going up hills. So anyway. So out of all these tips, comment down below what you think is BS, doesn't work, what you think does work, your testimonies. Let me know. All I know is it works for me. I'm getting 8 miles to the gallon, running, you know, through Nashville twice a day, through some other city traffic, and I'm getting right around 7.8, 8.2, depending on the fill up. I'm getting almost 2,000 miles to every tank. I mean, yeah, listen to me if you want. If you're already getting 8 and I'm saying some junk stuff, correct me. I want to learn. I'm just letting you know what I've learned and how I've already been able to save a lot of fuel. I think maybe on either a different video or maybe on this one I'll continue, but the actual things you can pay for that save you fuel. And that's gonna do it for today's video. I might have another video on paid upgrades, things you actually have to spend money on, but that'll do it for free. Peace.